What is up, everyone, and welcome back to PS5 Nexus, your ultimate source for all things PlayStation. The gaming world never sleeps, and neither do we. We're diving headfirst into the most electrifying updates hitting the PlayStation universe right now. Get ready, because the news cycle is moving at warp speed, and you absolutely cannot afford to miss what's coming your way. We've got some massive shifts on the horizon, and we're breaking it all down for you. First up, prepare yourselves for a shake-up with the PlayStation 5 hardware itself. Could a beloved console be getting a storage downgrade? We're talking about a significant change that could impact how much you can install. Then, we're shifting gears to see a former PlayStation exclusive absolutely dominate on a rival platform. How is this happening, and what does it mean for Sony's strategy? Next, we're diving deep into a critical look at a major title, dissecting its performance and what it truly offers players. And finally, get ready for a brand new PlayStation console announcement, but here's the catch. There's a major, unexpected twist that you need to know about. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single second of this. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Console storage slashed. It appears Sony might be implementing cost-cutting measures with an upcoming revision of the PlayStation 5, potentially impacting the storage capacity of a new Slim model. This development comes as the company navigates economic challenges and recent tariff adjustments, which have already led to price increases for the console. According to reliable insider reports, a new PS5 Slim model, identified by the chassis code CFI 2116, is set to launch soon, particularly in Europe on September 13th. The significant detail here is that this specific revision is rumored to ship with only 825 GB of internal storage. This marks a reduction from the 1 TB SSD found in current PS5 Slim models, and even the initial launch models that offered a slightly different internal configuration. While the original PS5 launched with an 825 GB SSD, users only had access to approximately 667 GB of usable space due to system files. This new revision is expected to offer a similar usable storage amount, meaning the actual space for games and applications could be noticeably less than what current owners are accustomed to. Interestingly, this storage reduction seems to be exclusive to the digital-only version of the PS5 Slim. Models equipped with a disk drive are expected to retain the 1 TB SSD, suggesting that the CFI 2116 reference number specifically pertains to the digital edition. This differentiation could be a strategic move by Sony, potentially aiming to drive further sales of expanded storage solutions, such as M.2 SSDs, as players find themselves with less built-in capacity for their growing game libraries. This potential downgrade is particularly noteworthy given that the PlayStation 5 console has already seen price increases in various regions following its initial release. The move to reduce storage in a new hardware revision, while not explicitly confirmed by Sony, aligns with industry speculation that manufacturers are looking for ways to optimize production costs and maintain profit margins in a challenging economic climate. By reducing the SSD size, Sony could potentially lower the manufacturing cost per unit, which might help offset the impact of tariffs and other economic pressures. Furthermore, if the digital edition consistently offers less storage, it could become a more significant factor for consumers when choosing between the digital and disc versions, or when considering future upgrades. While official confirmation from Sony is pending, the consistency of reports from well-vetted sources like Bilbulcun suggests this change is highly probable. Consumers looking to purchase a PS5 Slim with the maximum available storage might want to act sooner rather than later, specifically targeting models that are confirmed to come with the 1 TB SSD before the new chassis revision potentially becomes widespread. The precise impact on global markets remains to be seen, but an official announcement is expected to clarify these details. This potential reduction in storage has already sparked discussions within the gaming community, with many expressing concern over the diminishing usable space for increasingly large game installations. Analysts are watching closely to see how this move affects consumer purchasing decisions and Sony's overall strategy for hardware revisions. But is this the only hardware news making waves? Hold on tight, because we're about to explore another major PlayStation development that's turning heads. PlayStation exclusive conquers Xbox charts. In a surprising turn of events, the once PlayStation console exclusive, Helldivers 2, has not only made its debut on the Xbox platform, but has also surged to the top of the Xbox sales chart, outperforming even major Xbox franchises. This move by Sony to expand its first-party titles to other platforms, a strategy often referred to as its multi-platform strategy, is yielding significant results, albeit in an unexpected manner. Helldivers 2, developed by Arrowhead Game Studios, launched on Xbox following months of anticipation and playful banter between developers and fans about its potential cross-platform availability. The game's reception on Xbox has been overwhelmingly positive. Currently, it is listed as the top-paid game on the Xbox Store, indicating strong initial sales and player interest. Data from Alinea Analytics reveals that Helldivers 2 sold an impressive 926,000 copies on Xbox within its first 6 days of release. To put this into perspective, the PlayStation version of Helldivers 2 sold 633,000 copies in the same initial 6-day period after its launch last year. This indicates a stronger initial sales performance on the Xbox platform compared to its original PlayStation launch. This success on a competing console comes at an interesting time, as Sony continues to experiment with its approach to exclusivity. While the company has historically focused on keeping its major titles exclusively on PlayStation, there has been a noticeable shift towards releasing select games on PC and now even on Xbox. This decision for Helldivers 2 to go multi-platform, especially to the extent of topping the Xbox sales charts, suggests a reevaluation of exclusivity as a primary driver of hardware sales. It could signal a broader strategy to leverage popular titles across multiple ecosystems to maximize revenue and reach a wider audience. Coinciding with Helldivers 2's Xbox debut, Microsoft's own major franchise, Gears of War, also made a significant appearance on PlayStation with the release of a revamped edition of the original game, known as Gears of War, E-Day. This reciprocal move highlights a new era of cross-platform engagement between the two major console manufacturers. However, according to Alinea Analytics, Gears of War, E-Day sold 259,000 copies on PlayStation in its initial period, falling considerably short of Helldivers 2's performance on Xbox. The widespread success of Helldivers 2 on Xbox raises questions about the future of console exclusivity and Sony's broader strategy. It suggests that for certain titles, particularly live service games or those with broad appeal, a multi-platform approach might be more financially beneficial than strict exclusivity. This could influence future decisions regarding which PlayStation-published games make their way to other consoles and the terms under which they do so. The gaming community is actively discussing whether this marks a permanent shift in Sony's strategy or a specific tactical move for Helldivers 2. This crossover success is certainly noteworthy, but our next story dives into a different kind of critical reception for a major PlayStation title. Destiny 2's The Edge of Fate, a deep dive review. Destiny 2, Bungie's ambitious shared-world shooter, continues to evolve, and its latest expansion, The Edge of Fate, aims to push the narrative and gameplay forward. This review delves into the core experience offered by this new chapter, examining its impact on the long-standing Destiny universe and its appeal to both veteran players and newcomers. The Edge of Fate picks up threads from previous storylines, focusing on the ongoing conflict with the game's ever-present threats and introducing new challenges that test the mettle of Guardians. The expansion promises to deepen the lore, expand the playable areas, and introduce new mechanics that alter the familiar combat loop. Key to any Destiny 2 expansion is the introduction of new weapons, armor, and abilities, and the Edge of Fate is no exception. Players can expect a range of unique gear to collect, each with its own perks and potential build crafting synergies, encouraging extensive grinding and experimentation. The narrative thrust of The Edge of Fate centers around a pivotal moment in the ongoing saga, where players are tasked with confronting a formidable new enemy or a resurgent old foe. The story unfolds through a series of missions, cutscenes, and environmental storytelling, aiming to provide a compelling reason for players to engage with the new content. Bungie has often been praised for its world-building and atmospheric storytelling, and this expansion seeks to build upon that foundation, offering players a more personal stake in the unfolding events. The quality of the voice acting, character development, and overall narrative coherence are crucial elements that determine the success of such expansions, and the Edge of Fate is evaluated on these merits. Beyond the story, the gameplay mechanics receive a significant overhaul or addition. This could include new enemy types with distinct attack patterns, environmental hazards that require tactical adaptation, or entirely new combat abilities that change how Guardians approach encounters. The expansion also typically introduces new activities, such as strikes, raids, or seasonal events, designed to provide repeatable content and long-term engagement. The balance of these new elements, their integration into the existing game systems, and their overall fun factor are central to the review's assessment. For instance, the introduction of a new subclass ability or a revamped weapon system can fundamentally alter the player experience, and the Edge of Fate is scrutinized for how well it manages these changes. From a technical standpoint, the review considers the performance of the expansion on the PS5. This includes aspects like frame rates, load times, graphical fidelity, and overall stability. Destiny 2 is known for its demanding visuals and complex systems, and how smoothly the Edge of Fate runs on current-generation hardware is a key consideration. The user interface, accessibility options, and overall polish of the expansion also contribute to the player's experience and are typically addressed in a comprehensive review. The community's reaction to the Edge of Fate has been a mix of excitement and cautious optimism, with many players eager to see how the new content impacts the game's longevity and meta. Early player feedback often highlights the quality of new loot and the challenge of new endgame activities. While the fate of Destiny 2's narrative unfolds, Sony is also preparing for another significant hardware announcement, and this one comes with a surprising twist. PlayStation's new console, a familiar face with a surprising catch. Sony is reportedly gearing up to release a brand new revision of the PlayStation 5 console, continuing its practice of refining its hardware. While this might sound like a standard iteration, this upcoming model comes with a significant and potentially controversial internal change that could impact the user experience for many. This news stems from detailed reports by reliable insider sources who have a strong track record for accuracy regarding PlayStation hardware. The focus is on a new chassis revision for the PS5 Slim, specifically identified by model numbers that indicate internal modifications. While external design changes are minimal, the most notable alteration lies within the storage capacity. Reports suggest that this new version of the PS5 Slim, particularly the digital edition, will feature a reduced internal SSD size, dropping from the current 1 TB to 825 GB. This reduction in storage is not entirely unprecedented for PlayStation consoles. The original PS5 model also launched with an 825 GB SSD, though the usable space after system files was around 667 GB. The current PS5 Slim models offer a full 1 TB SSD. The impending revision, however, seems to be reverting to the smaller capacity for its digital-only variant, identified by the reference number CFI 2116. This specific change has been noted in certification documents and is slated for an initial release in Europe on September 13th. Models equipped with a disk drive are expected to maintain the 1 TB SSD, suggesting a deliberate differentiation strategy. The implications of this storage reduction are significant for players. With modern games frequently exceeding 100 GB, a smaller SSD means less space for installations. This could necessitate more frequent management of downloaded content, requiring players to uninstall games to make room for new ones. For those who enjoy maintaining a large library of installed titles, this change could be a considerable inconvenience. It also raises questions about Sony's pricing and cost-saving strategies. With the console already having seen price adjustments in some markets, reducing the SSD size could be a move to optimize production costs and maintain profitability amidst economic pressures and tariff impacts. Furthermore, this move could be a calculated effort to encourage the purchase of external storage solutions. By offering a digital console with less internal storage, Sony might be aiming to boost sales of M.2 NVMe SSDs, which are compatible with the PS5 and can expand storage capacity. This strategy could prove lucrative, as high-capacity SSDs represent a significant upsell opportunity. The community's reaction is already polarized. Some players express frustration over what they perceive as a downgrade, especially given the increasing size of game files. Others acknowledge the economic realities facing hardware manufacturers and see it as a reasonable compromise, particularly if the price of the console remains competitive or if the disk drive version continues to offer 1 TB. The success of this strategy will likely depend on how Sony markets the revision and whether the cost savings are passed on to consumers. This hardware adjustment is certainly a talking point, but we've covered a lot of ground today, and it's time to wrap things up with a quick recap of all the major news. All right, everyone, that's a wrap on today's news cycle. We saw a potential storage reduction in the new PS5 Slim model, Helldivers 2 absolutely dominating the Xbox sales charts, a deep dive into Destiny 2's latest expansion, and a new PlayStation console with a surprising catch. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to PS5 Nexus for all your PlayStation updates, ring that notification bell so you never miss a video, and let us know in the comments what you thought of today's stories. You can also follow us on all our social media channels for more gaming news and discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.